What's going on, world? And welcome back to the Pursuit of the Good Life podcast, your favorite podcast that helps you grow both personally and professionally. I'm your host with the most, your favorite coach, the Kameron Lovelace, coming to you every single Thursday to help you create your version of the good life. All right, so y'all know we bringing it back. We bringing on guests to add a whole bunch of value. So I ain't gonna lie. A lot of my guests do end up being alphas. I mean, this is because we just great individuals that do great things. But today's guest is a frat brother of mine. And I know a lot of people, love sports, but once you have your hoop dreams, your football dreams, you have an injury or you don't make college, you kind of just put it on the side. Or you just say, I don't really want to coach, but I don't really know if I want a career in it. Well, my guest today actually works for a professional NBA team right here in Memphis, Tennessee, the Memphis Grizzlies. He ain't got me no signature from John Morant yet, so we're going to have to work on that. But please welcome to the show, my brother, Mr. Corbin Noel. Corbin, what's happening, bro?
Man, I'm doing good. Glad to be a part of your show, man. Just working my way through this first quarter of the year, and I'm thankful I'm here.
Man, thanks for joining on the show. I'm sure this had a lot of value to people who are interested in getting into the industry. But before we get into all that, I like to always warm my guests up with like a fun question or whatever the case may be. So you've been working for the Grizzlies for going on 2 years now?
Yeah, it'll be 2 years in June. So I started back in June of 2018.
So since you've been working there, what movie has it been like what that you could compare the experience to? So I know there's, of course, your money balls. Obviously, you're not working like directly with the team. You're working more with the front office. But, is it glory days? Like what kind of movie is most relatable to working for the Memphis Grizzlies?
So that's kind of tough. I'm trying to think of like a sales movie because, I work in sales for the Grizzlies. Man, that's a good question. It's really hard to compare it to a movie. But if you, yeah, that's a hard question. Kind of stumped me right there. A movie. I don't know. I don't know if I can describe a movie that I've seen to describe my time here with the Grizzlies. I know that's a lame answer, but
I got you. I definitely stunned you on that one. Well, tell me, something that has, since you've been working there, that's kind of stuck out, or when was it like a moment that was like, I'm working for an NBA team right now? Like, what was it like the first week on the job, 6 months down the line, or what was that moment for you?
Yeah, I think it's been several moments, and I get reminded about it on a daily basis. I think my first moment, however, though, when I was in the office, I think I took a 15-minute break. And like as on a normal job, you take a 15-minute break, you might go outside, go out to your car,
Right.
or walk down the streets, a coffee shop or Starbucks. But for me, I can literally walk out of my office, and in 5 minutes, I'm in the arena. And I think the first time it hit me was like watching Kyrie Irving actually out there warming up at like 3 o'clock. They had a game at 7 o'clock that night. He's out there at 3 p.m. working on his game, pregame shoot around. Pregame shoot around is normally like at 5 o'clock. So he's out there 2 hours before that. And so just being able to walk out of my office for a short break and sit down in the arena and just, watch him, practice, I think that, kind of first thing I was like, I'm actually working in the NBA. Like I got access to get into the arena. So like, I think that's when it first hit me. Sure.
Man, that's what's up. So tell the people what made you want to get into the sports business industry, because some people got, it's like, I tore my ACL, so I wasn't good enough to make the league, but I still made it to the league, you know what I'm saying? So like what made you want to get into sports, I guess, more?
Yeah, so for me, I think I was pretty much raised into sports at a young age. My dad was a longtime football and track coach, so I can remember probably as young as maybe 3, 4, 5 years old, going to all the football practices, being on the back of the truck. Because he used to, I know a good memory I have. He used to always pick up, some players in the morning, before early morning workouts, and I would be on the back of the truck, riding with high schoolers. So being around that. I played high school sports myself, but going into like the end of my senior year and also freshman year in college, I pretty much knew I wasn't good enough to play professionally. So I knew I wanted to stay in sports. So I started to think of ways or careers that that I feel comfortable in working in or what I want to do.
Mhm.
So I think it was like three of them. I knew I wanted to be possibly an athletic director, maybe a sports agent, because I enjoyed, if you remember Jerry Maguire, the movie. Now you talk about movies, maybe Jerry Maguire, but I'm not an agent. So,
I got you.
but I think that's one movie that got me, into thinking about working in sports. And I also said I would want to work in a front office of a professional sports team. Here I am today doing that. So I think that's what kind of geared me towards that path of wanting to work in sports business.
Right. So you went to so you from Mariana, right?
Yeah, Marianna, Arkansas.
Or you
It's
go
about
from go ahead.
yeah 50. Yeah, it's about 50 miles an hour west of Memphis. Small town though.
Oh yeah, I mean, hey, everywhere Arkansas is considered kind of small compared to other
Pretty
places.
much.
But you go from Mariana to Conway, where we meet at UCA, and so what was like the first step towards getting a career in the sports agency? Was it getting a was it getting a degree in sports management? Was it getting like what was it as far as building that resume?
Yeah, so I'll start by just compare myself to some of my other coworkers. So I have some coworkers. They basically went to college. They worked in athletic departments of their college, respective colleges,
Mm-hmm.
and they got experience in sports. And so their first job out of college was going straight to the Grizzlies or going straight to. I have people that have started other places or other teams as well.
Yeah.
But their first job right out of college was going to a sports team. Well, for me, my steps were a little bit different. So at UCA, I majored in business marketing. I knew I really liked marketing,
Mm-hmm.
but I knew that one day possibly I want to do sports marketing. That UCA just didn't offer that.
Right.
So yeah. So of course, I made sure to get experience as much as I could. Did internships. I applied the career services at UCA. They definitely got me a lot of good experience. I got to intern with places like State Farm. I also did a short internship with the Clinton Foundation. I was an educational programs intern there because in school, not only did I have a passion for sports, but I also had a passion for education. So I was kind of torn between. That's where the athletic director piece comes in because I'm able to be an athletic director for a school district, but also you know paying attention and wanting students to do well when it comes to school.
Right.
So those were kind of I think so for me I wanted to, work in the front office, but I still kind of wanted to be an athletic director. So my first few steps were to get experience in like both perspective areas, maybe education and also in marketing. Now UCA, I didn't get any sports experience.
Mm.
Like I said, it just weren't that many opportunities, and I didn't. And one thing I think if I could do it again, I would work and volunteer in the athletic department if I could. I think that's something that probably would have helped me, get into the career faster.
Mm.
But after UCA, I ended up graduating in 2016. And from that point, I was working a job in Little Rock, but I knew I wanted to get into sports. What I was doing at the time, it wasn't really what I wanted to do. So
You
I
don't want to
started
put the
taking
job
online.
out there. You don't want to put them
I
under
mean,
the
it was
bus.
no man. I mean, it was a good job. It's just somewhere I couldn't see myself staying. It was a pretty good job. But so I started to take online classes at the University of Memphis, in their sports management department. So I knew I wanted to go ahead and get my sports management degree, and hopefully that will open up some more opportunities for me. So I finished my first semester at the University of Memphis taking online classes. But after maybe about 2, 3 weeks after the semester, you're done with school. You're not checking your emails. At least not me. When I'm done with school, I do not check my emails. I don't look at my notifications or anything. But I get a call from one of my professors, and it was a professor of one of my sports marketing classes. He pretty much offered me a graduate assistant position at the University of Memphis in their sports department. And so from that point, I moved to Memphis. So I started on campus that August.
Mhm.
I was a GA, and at the time at the University of Memphis, there was a sports marketing association. Well, through my experience at UCA, I was on a few exec boards. So I guess they saw me as a decent leader, which I'm glad they did. Which I'm glad they did because it helped me out a lot. So I eventually became the Sports Marketing Association president on the campus of the University of Memphis.
Mhm.
That helped me out immensely because just being new to the area, it allowed me to network not only with students and faculty, from across campus, but being the president of the Sports Marketing Association, I had to get speakers to come in and talk to us or, talk at our meetings. So that was my opportunity to reach out to the Grizzlies, reach out to the Memphis Redbirds, reach out to the, Tennessee Titans and other professional sports teams in the area that we can get to come down and speak. And during that time, not only am I getting them to come speak, but I'm getting them to know more about me.
Mm-hmm.
So that helped me a lot. And it was coming upon my second to last semester at the University of Memphis, and they came out with this new class. It was a ticket sales class. And at the time, I mean, even coming up upon graduation, I really didn't know. I knew I wanted to do sports marketing. It was either going to be like sports marketing or partnerships, dealing with companies, activating their products, with the professional sports team. I feel like I did good with that. But I was introduced to ticket sales. And one of my professors said he thought that would be something that I would be interested in and he thought I would be good at it. So the thing is, at the University of Memphis, you had to interview in order to get into the class. So yeah. So the person that
wait, you got an interview to get into a class?
Yeah, so it was because it was a high demand. It was only like 10 spots available. Yeah, it was only like 10 spots available for that class. And once you get into that class, I mean, you get so much experience because right now working with the Grizzlies, we have students that assist us on game days. So that experience that the students get, I mean, you really can't compare that to in class, So yeah, we had to interview to get in the class. And at the time, I was debating on whether I should take this class or I had the opportunity to study abroad in London, which is another good thing that the sports department at University of Memphis offered. They offered study abroad opportunities. And so I was going through this, and actually the person that I was interviewing with is my boss, who is my boss today, but I didn't know that. Yeah. And so we get into the interview process, and I'm telling him, like, I'm not sure if I want to do marketing or, ticket sales. And basically I didn't get in the class. So yeah, crazy. Okay. But I work for the Grizzlies now. Yeah, but I didn't get in the class. But basically, he basically told me, and I think a lot of people that want to be in sports, the most important thing is know what you want to do in sports. Because our organizations like the Grizzlies and every other team in the NBA, every other team in all the other professional sports leagues are run just like any other company. So right now I'm a client services account executive. And so I'm a part of our sales and service department, but we have HR, we have human resources, we have accounting and finance, we have marketing and partnerships, we have our own media department. And opposite of that, on the basketball ops side, you have your coaches, your trainers, your nutritionists, like your scouts. So there's so many positions in sports. And what he let me know was what to know, just figure out what I want to do in sports. So I had to figure out that sales is what I want to do. So coming upon graduation, I still haven't secured a sports position, but I was working for Alsec St. Jude. I was a donor engagement intern, and that goes along with my piece of wanting to be an athletic director, because athletic directors, what they do, they talk to a lot of donors. So I feel like if I can get into a position where I'm talking with donors, even though it's for a nonprofit like Alsec St. Jude, it's still a skill that can be transferred to where I want to be. And so, that's what I did.
And St. Jude just happens to be one of the biggest nonprofits in the world. So yeah.
It is. Yeah. So, and they also have a great partnership with the Memphis Grizzlies at the time, which I knew. So, every kind of move I set up, I tried to make sure that it kind of aligned with my goals. So along with working at Alsec St. Jude, I also did retail sales for Apple. So I was getting some sort of sales experience, even though it's not selling tickets for a basketball game. It's being able to sell a product, being able to service a customer, things that are important in what I do today. And so I kept applying. I applied to the Redbirds. I know I applied to the Grizzlies several times and didn't get a call back several times. I applied to different teams out of state and basically just kind of waiting on my turn. But I didn't, stop, doing what I was doing. Eventually, I got a call one random day. I don't even know if I remember applying or when I had submitted my application, but it was a call from the Grizzlies. And the person on the other end of the phone was my boss, the one that interviewed me the first time for the class. And, going into that interview, I had already had practice. I already knew, kind of what I wanted to do, and ticket sales was what I wanted to do. I was able to convey that to him, and I was able to start with the Grizzlies on June 2018.
Man, that's big. So wait, so I'm gonna make sure we don't skip past any of these steps. So you graduate from UCA and goose egg. No opportunities, no callbacks, no opportunities where you seeing your classmates here, your classmates there, they going here, they going there, they going all over the place. And here you are, with nothing going on. But where a lot of people, and matter of fact, people that we know, they just kind of they just either accept what was given to them. They might go back to their hometown and just work at the sales job or at Walmart, or go to HR. They go to a completely different field that they didn't get their degree in. But something in you said that, you know what, no, I really want to get into this. So let me see what I can do to make myself more attractive. Like, you didn't take just what life had given you, but you said, okay, then let me go. Okay, University of Memphis. That's about the closest. Was that the closest school that did sports management?
Yeah, so it was University of Memphis and also the University of Arkansas. I applied to both of those. I was actually accepted to both programs, but what the University of Memphis offered me was a college that was in the middle of the city. Campus is in the middle of the city.
Right.
I mean, and there's this professional sports team about 15 minutes away at the FedEx Forum. So
yeah,
it was something that, in fact, so they offered me that, Arkansas wasn't able to offer me that.
Mm-hmm. So you move, you pack up. Was you in Little Rock at the time?
Yeah, I was still staying in Conway, but I had my job was in Little Rock. Yeah.
So you pack up from Conway, drive 2 hours into Memphis. Of course, you got, your frat brother, your line brother, Zach, who's welcoming you over. He's like, come on, let's kick it. And you like, yeah, but I got to study. But so you get into the program, and it sounds like you just hustled. Like, instead of like people just doing like the minimum, going to classes, like you made sure that you did whatever opportunities were available until you kind of figured out sales is what I want to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Because and like I said, that's why I give credit to the career services departments, not only at UCA but also at the University of Memphis. I had a great career counselor. She basically told me that a lot of skills are transferable. You don't have to have the most experience in sports to get a job in sports. It's just what you can do on that job, and what have you done in other positions in the past that we can believe and trust in you that you can accomplish these things at this new role. So I just made sure whatever job I was doing, like I said, at Alsec St. Jude, even with the donor engagement, I made sure I did the best I could, because we had to make a lot of phone calls. And what I do on a daily basis as an account executive, I make a lot of phone calls. I got to know how to communicate to people, and it's not always just calling them to ask for money. It's just building relationships with people. I think that's the most important. So.
Do you got the sorry to bother you voice? Brother, is that your daily routine?
Man, sometimes.
Man,
sometimes, yeah.
I get it. But okay, but so so what you're saying is, so for those people who want a position at a sports team, don't necessarily write yourself off just because you may not have sports management experience. So max out whatever niche within it. Because like I've interviewed a lawyer, I've interviewed educator, and like what I'm seeing throughout these different interviews is that people say, and you just actually said it again, is that if you can niche down in your perspective, like then you'll be able to truly like master your lane. And so like what are the different paths of like a sports team?
Like the different positions and careers that people can take.
Yeah, because like I mean, I don't look at myself as, somebody that could work for an NBA team, but I mean, I imagine teams have therapists or mental health counselors or life coaches or things like that. So like, what are the different aspects that you don't necessarily work for, but you work with?
Yeah. So like I said earlier, every company is going to have their HR department. But we also have a community engagement department.
Mhm.
Basically, they go out, they reach out to schools, they reach out to underprivileged kids. We have this special program called Tickets for Kids. And that's an opportunity. I am able to work with the community engagement department, pretty much helping to get kids tickets to see games. So that's one lane you can go down. We also, the Grizzlies have their own foundation, which is a nonprofit foundation. So if you're into nonprofit work. The Grizzlies have a position for that as well. We also have the Memphis Grizzlies have a school. So
A school
yeah,
school?
yeah, it's a school. It's like a charter school.
Like so
Yeah.
it's
So
so 6th through 12th, or is that what?
um, I'm not quite sure the grades, but I know we do have a school.
Gotcha.
Or at least we partner with the organization that has a school. But I
Mhm.
mean, so that's on that side. You have like again marketing partnerships. If you're into marketing, if you're into graphic design, we have several positions like that. If you're into journalism, radio, broadcast, we have Grind City Media. Um, that a lot of people, a lot of people like want to be on air. They want to be TV personality. You have an opportunity on that lane. So the Grizzlies, I mean, we offer more than just, I don't know, it's a lot that goes into a basketball team, especially an NBA team, because it's a whole like even just for one game day, it takes a lot of people to get that going and to get that rolling.
What's up, guys? We all know that in order to create your version of the good life, you have to have a fulfilling career. And that's why today's episode is sponsored by the Dreams and Nightmares Career Exploration Program. It's that awesome program that helps your students build a foundation based on their strengths and even weaknesses, explore the world of work, and create a step-by-step plan to turn their dreams into a reality. Now, it includes an e-course, it includes an assessment, it even includes a 90-day coaching program and a group experience for those mentoring groups in nonprofit organizations. It is the awesome career program designed by yours truly to help your student, whether you're in college or whether you're in high school, really know how to turn your dream career into a reality and to avoid those deep, dark nightmares. Now, for those of you that are adults and are not students anymore, don't worry, I didn't leave you out either. Today's episode is also sponsored by the Welcome to the Jungle program. The Welcome to the Jungle program is the program designed to help you grow both personally and professionally by helping you master yourself. We do this by helping you master the 4 dominant animal personality traits that everybody has, which includes the dominant lion, the inspirational flamingo, the supportive chameleon, and the very cautious turtle. Conquering these animals is the key to not only dominating in your professional life, but also knowing how to thrive in your everyday jungle with your family and your relationships. So be sure to check out these 2 programs at www.goodlifetc.org/dreams and /W2J. And now back to the show.
Okay, so take us behind the curtain on the business side. What's a day like on game day? Well, let's talk about game day and then let's move to a regular non-game day like today.
Got you. Yeah. Okay. So on a regular game day, it just depends. So my first years with the Grizzlies, I was a ticket sales representative.
Mhm.
So basically, my job was to sell tickets, ticket packages, premium plans to clients, and our clients can be a regular everyday fan. It could be a business, it could be a school group, it could be a church group, whatever it is. Try to sell tickets. So my job on a game day basis as a TSR would be to be available. We would have tables set up. So if fans wanted to come up to us to ask us questions about, ticket packages, how can they save money to see the biggest games? Because everybody wants to see the Lakers, but everybody knows when they go to Ticketmaster, the prices are, crazy. So people come to us for that, during game days.
Mhm.
As a TSR, you may have other duties like helping out with the national anthem. We'll have national anthem buddies, have school age kids come down there, stand with the players.
All right.
Whatever anybody needs us to do as a TSR, that's what we do. Now, in my new role because I was just recently promoted back in November, my new role as a client services account executive is going to be a little bit different. So pretty much, I'm working at our service center during the game, and I'm specifically focused on our MVPs. That's going to be our season ticket holders, and also our premium package buyers. That's going to be our suite holders, anybody that's sitting on the floor, and also our club box holders. And, our high value accounts is people that I'll be dealing with on a game day basis. Unfortunately, this year with the pandemic and with all of the restrictions that the NBA has put in place, a person in my role, I'm not really able to go to the games right now,
Right.
unless you're a trainer, a coach, or of course a player. So.
No doubt, no doubt. So, if I remember correctly, Ja Morant didn't get drafted until 2019. So last
Yeah, so he's like, last year. Last year was his first year.
So that means your first season as with the Grizzlies as a ticket sales representative was when the franchise was not really selling a lot of tickets.
Yeah, so I mean, that's a fair point. So so I came at a time when the Grizzlies, they had their core four. That was Marc Gasol, Mike Conley, Zach Randolph, and Tony Allen. The Grizzlies went on several playoff runs. I think the highest they got was the Western Conference Finals.
Right.
So I came in on the downside of that. The year before, like in the 2018-2019 season, we traded off Mike Conley, traded Marc Gasol. So coming in there before the draft, because I got there like maybe a month or two before the draft of Ja Morant, it was not fun. I could say that the least, because a lot of people were upset. They didn't know what the front office was doing, and they kind of just really didn't know the direction of the team. But I will say
that was when they drafted Triple J, Jaren Jackson Jr.
Jaren Jackson Jr.
Everybody was like, bro, what the hell?
Yeah. So coming into my time with the Grizzlies, I will say that we do now have a new young front office. And I think it kind of reflects the team kind of, because I mean, we have a few veteran staff, on the business side, but it's generally a young organization. So I think our roster pretty much reflects our office. And so when Ja Morant, I mean, we had like I don't even know the percent chance we had of landing the number 2 pick. I think it was like a 6%. Yeah, it was like 6%, maybe lower than that. And when we got the second pick, we knew we were going to get Zion or Ja Morant. And so once the Pelicans took Zion, we knew we were getting Ja. And at first, a few of our MVPs were hesitant. They were kind of like, okay, we don't know how good he'll be. But he turned out to be pretty good pretty fast. And so him being able to win the Rookie of the Year was big for Memphis. It was big for our staff. Just having fans interested in basketball. Because a lot of times I think people will come to the games just to see other stars. But now people are actually coming to the games to see Ja Morant, and people are actually turning on the TV to see Ja Morant. So I think we go nowhere but up, especially with a young team like we have now.
I agree, man, because I ain't gonna lie. I don't know if you watched the Grizzlies when you was in Mariana, but when we came to Memphis to what for like I remember when my brother's birthday, we went to go see Kobe, or we went on a church youth group to go see KG. So to your point, yeah, people usually come to Memphis to see other stars, but yeah, that's a big point that now that Ja's here, you might actually get consistent ticket sales. So talk about that transition from TSR to an account executive. And is like the TSR like the lowest level in the sales department? Is that the entry level position?
Yeah. So, well, we actually have a few part-time ticket sales reps coming upon. So that would be considered the lowest. But yeah, there's the lowest full-time entry level position, a ticket sales representative. Basically, that's going to be a person right out of college, like myself, fresh out of college, or their first start in the sports world. Now, you might have somebody jump from an account executive role in a different organization that can jump to an account executive role with us, but it doesn't happen that much. So you basically start off as a TSR. It's pretty much a 6-month to 1 year position. From that point, your management and us, and your management is working to get you either a position with the Grizzlies or a position with another sports team. And so during my time as a TSR, I started to look at other places because I mean that's what they want you to do. Because well, let me just backtrack. I was a TSR, and what happened in March was the the pandemic. So that kind of threw off a lot because during that time in March, especially like the end of February and the beginning of March, I was looking and I was applying to different places and different positions around the league, just because I wanted to put my name out there because you never know what would become available with the team.
Right.
And when everything shut down, it was I don't know, it was. You think it would last a couple of weeks, but then the weeks started to turn into months. And so I was just sitting in that TSR role because at that point I was already projected to be promoted. And so I would just, kind of stay in limbo, like, okay, is my position going to be safe, or do I need to start looking, outside of sports? But the one thing I will say, the Grizzlies, as opposed to other teams or in other leagues, they did take care of us. They kept reassuring me that your position is good. As soon as we're able to, get things start back rolling, we are looking to promote you. So that's what kind of kept me here in Memphis. And in November, once we were able to, finalize this season, even though this season hasn't been the smoothest, once we were able to finalize that, I was able to go ahead and get my promotion. So yeah, that's pretty much what it was. It was probably, I don't know if any of my coworkers that's an account executive right now has had to deal with that, especially a pandemic. So,
man, ain't nobody had to deal with the pandemic before. But
yeah, for sure.
So I don't want to say like your promotion was incumbent upon like how the team performed, but it is a lot of what you do and how you like move promotions. Because I see like you were saying like you were applying for other positions around the league. So like when you like applied to, I don't want to name like any random teams, but like when you applied to say, well, let's say NFL. So let's say you applied to the Titans in here.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
let's say like when if you had got an interview, would it have been like, oh well, yeah, I did this, and this as a TSR, and this is what I can do for your organization too. But is that reflected upon, well, their attendance at their games wasn't so hot. So let's say like, for example, it was based on your first year without Ja, where attendance was low. And then like now, like attendance would be high. Well, it would be high if we were obviously meeting. So is it like reflected upon how the team as an organization, or can you really make a name for yourself even amongst a big organization like the Grizzlies?
Yeah, team performance has something to do with it, but that's not all. And I would say that's the reason, because people come to our games not just for basketball. Like I said, we sell to businesses, we sell to schools, we sell to churches. People have different needs for wanting to come to a game. So even though the Grizzlies aren't performing as well as we want them to, people use these tickets to reward their employees, to prospect new clients, to generate new business for themselves. So I think the way you stand out, especially during times where, we weren't having sellouts, other than when the Lakers were coming to town, is to hustle your activity around, how many calls are you making a day? How many new prospects, how many new leads are you generating? How many referrals are you bringing in? That's how you kind of set yourself apart, because anybody can sell a hot product. Like say if you work for the Lakers, it's not hard to sell seats to go see LeBron James every night. It's not hard to do. What sets you apart is basically your hustle. That's what it is. I mean, revenue is important. It's very important. But it's how you kind of get that revenue. Because like I said, anybody can sell a hot product, but if you can sell during, down times, and you can find new opportunities, new business opportunities, that's how you set yourself apart.
So always keep that hustle, that grind, that motor, even when you get in the door.
Mm-hmm. Always, because you never know. And I think I'm gonna take out one of my resumes. My manager and my TSR manager, made that a point for us, is because even if the days you're not selling, still make your calls, still reach out to people, still send your emails, because at the end of the day, they're tracking all of that. And so, yeah, they're tracking every single one of those. So make sure you're always working. And so that's what I always did, even when nobody was watching.
No doubt, no doubt. So do you interact with like the GM or like the real public physicians that are in the media? Like, what is it, like the GM, the president of basketball operation, like the real publicized position? Do you interact with those at all? If so, what's the Grizzlies' big time positions like?
Yeah, so we definitely interact with them, especially in the position I am now. Because the client services role I'm pretty much one of the first touch points for a fan. So we have to get daily updates from them. They speak to us, tell us what's going on, what we can and cannot say. So yeah, we speak a lot to them. Now they do have their own daily duties, so I don't really see what they do too much on a daily basis. Their offices are at the top of the building. I'm on the second floor, so I don't see everything, but they definitely stay in communication with us.
No doubt, no doubt. So tell us about you already told us about Kyrie, but tell us about some other NBA players that. And was there any time where you were just like awestruck? Like, did you see Bron? Did you see Cade? Like, was there any NBA players that had you awestruck, and which ones like stick out?
For sure. One that stuck out for sure was LeBron James. This season, I was able to actually sit courtside at one of the Lakers games this year. So I think that was the time I was awestruck. Another time was, and I never was a big Tim Duncan fan, but you just know players that are Hall of Famers, and so when you're in their presence, you can definitely feel the energy. And so Tim Duncan now works on the Spurs coaching staff, right. And during pregame is where we have our most interaction with the different players and staff, because we're bringing fans to come get autographs. We're bringing fans for meet and greets with the players, and and the players are also doing community engagement things as well. So at that time, that's where we're able to interact, and being able to be around Tim Duncan, I think, was the moment I was like, wow. Because growing up, my favorite player was Kobe Bryant, and unfortunately, what happened last year, I never got the chance to meet him. But I think Tim Duncan and also seeing LeBron James, of course, was the two times I was awestruck. But I see so many players now.
It's nothing. Oh,
nah, not to say it like that. Not to say it like that.
But it's like that.
No, not to say it like that. But you're gonna have your certain people that you're awestruck by. Those are the ones.
No doubt, no doubt. So I know you said you mostly interact with the office, with the sales department. But do you like really have a chance to build a relationship with the players, with the Grizzlies players?
Yeah, so in this new role, I know I will have more opportunities too. As a TSR, you really don't. My first year with the Grizzlies, our main focus is getting doing our job and making sure we can get a promotion to continue our career path. But in this new role, I will work more closely with players. It's just with the pandemic, I haven't really had too much of an opportunity. We've done a few Zoom calls with Coach Jenkins and with a few players. Now, I will have a closer relationship with players like Tony Allen and Zach Randolph, because they actually work with our service department.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, last year, yeah. So they'll come in and do a commercial and shoot a commercial in our office, and we'll put it out for fans when it's time for ticket renewals and things like that. So.
No doubt. Okay. So when I need that autograph, I can hit you up, be like, hey, go ahead and just slide it in for me.
Yeah, I'll see what I can do.
100. Well, talk to the people who are aspiring, sports agents, who just want to be in sports business. So talk to the people and leave them with like some takeaways that you wish you had and when you were coming up.
Yeah, for sure. Most importantly, like I mentioned earlier, know what you want to do in sports. So whether that's a sports agent, whether you want to do marketing, whether you want to do sales, whether you want to be a trainer or a scout, make sure you hone in on that. Make sure you follow and connect with people that are already in those positions, because they can only give you nothing but advice. And the more people you know, the better it's for you. Not only the more people you know, but what they know about you. So share your accomplishments with them. And even if you don't get a sports job, or you're not getting calls back, don't like stop. Don't, never stop applying, because especially during this time, with the pandemic, there's only so many positions available. But once things start to turn around, and we can, slow this pandemic down, there will be more, positions and careers open in sports. So whatever job you can do that that you can transfer those same skills over to a sports role, continue to do that. I think that's the most important advice I can give. Know what you want to do, and keep honing your skills in whatever you want to do.
No doubt. I forgot to ask this. What's next for you, man? You slowly working your way up that corporate ladder. You went from the TSR, grinded your way, hustled and bustled. Now you an account exec. So what's next? You going for that VP? What going for the GM? Like what's the goal? What's next, man?
Yeah. So short term, my goal was to go ahead and be an account executive, which I've reached. My next goal, I want to be in a leadership role, hopefully within the Grizzlies organization. But in sports, you have to be willing to move, right, and be flexible. So if an investment of my career, I will definitely be willing to do that. But I want to be in a leadership role, whether that's a director of marketing and sales, or partnerships. I think that's what I want to kind of do. I want to move more towards working directly with companies. I mean, I love working with, fans each and every day. But I think I want to move more into the corporate partnership side. So that's my next goal. But my ultimate goal, I want to have my own sports entertainment business. Yeah, so that's probably not years from now. That may be decades from now. But
man, don't cut yourself short, bro. You don't know what connections you might make.
Hey, for sure, yeah. But that is a goal. I think everybody. Well, I know a lot of people want to work for themselves, so that is something I would want to do at the end.
Now, sports entertainment, is that similar to sports agency, or what is that?
Yeah, so basically sports and entertainment agency. So I have a really good friend that works for a company called Creative Artists Agency. It's called CAA. It's one of the largest agencies in the world when it comes to sports entertainment. And so that is something I think I would want to do. Not only manage athletes, but manage entertainment talent as well.
Oh, that's what's up. You trying to compete with Clutch Sports? Let's go, Corbin. I'm here for it. Let's
go.
Not
trying to compete, man. Hey, if they want to, Clutch Sports want to offer me, I will be right there.
Hey, take what you can do until you get what's yours, man. Man, appreciate you for coming on, man. I'm sure you've added a whole lot of value and shed some gems for those people who want to definitely get their hustle on and work their way through a professional sports team. All right, y'all. For those of y'all watching on YouTube, go ahead and smash that like button. What all the YouTubers do. Smash that like button. Comment your favorite part. If you're listening to this on iTunes, go ahead and leave us that 5-star review. And share this with somebody who really needs this. But until then, y'all know how we do. We coming to you every single Thursday to help you create your version of the good life. Until then, we'll see you next week.